Well, a very good afternoon and welcome back to Falun for the Nordic World Championships. Of course, Nordic Combined is on the card today, and we've already suffered a little bit of a delay due to the wind conditions, blowing from the wrong direction and a little bit too strong to be safe.
So for the second time of asking, Lukas Rypl of the Czech Republic in his World Championship debut for the Czech Republic, setting off down the in-run here, front wind conditions, and well short of that. And Lukas Rypl 74.5 the distance there. The factor is 2 points per meter. For every meter beyond the 90-meter upper red line, it's a bonus. For every meter short, it's a deduction. Antoine Gérard now for France, recently 8th in the Junior World Championships. Wind strength at about 3.5 meters per second. And over the knoll, 4.5 meters away from his distance marks, 84.5. You can see 10.2 points. That's like losing 5 meters. But back to the front end of the start list. And of course, this is the first of 4 gold medal Nordic combined opportunities. 50 competitors, 16 countries. Things are settling now. I would think that he can be released. The green light's on, and Jan Roomgraaf has released him. And that's a good 10 meters short. The wind, though, very strong, 12.9. So that's like losing 6 meters and a bit. And although he's gone into the lead, he's only got 0.05 of a second ahead of Antoine Gérard of France because of that big deduction. The first of the 2 Piho boys representing Estonia. Former junior world bronze medalist a couple of seasons ago. So the wind definitely quietening down at the moment, and it's a straight updraft. And there you can see plus 1.18, and Piho into 4th place. Now Poland, Kupczak, another of the several competitors in the lineup today who's yet to score a World Cup point at elite level. Gets the telemark landing, pretty pleased with that. 5 judges marking out of 20 as ever, the highest and lowest taken away, and 90 meters, so that is 60 points for distance. Deduction will be 13 points, but still enough to go into the lead, but still less than 100 points. Jussi Salo. Of Sampala Yunan and Hannu Manninen, and most recently, before he switched to special jumping, Anssi Koivaranta. So out again and goes to green. So off he goes. Winds southwesterly, but he must go. Only has 10 seconds. Any more than that, and he could be disqualified. Effectively 6 meters from that front wind. 12.9 is 6.5 meters off, and you can see there when you convert style and distance into a time differential, already 39 seconds off the pace. Now this is encouraging. Yi Un Park for Korea, only 21. perhaps more realistically with the 2018 Winter Olympics, which will be staged in his country, very much in his mind. Wind pretty straight updraft at the moment, so this is manageable. Front wind still. As he would have wished, and so currently, or consequently I should say, not really carrying the speed forward in the way that he would have needed to make a bigger impression. So the one man to reach the calculation line, that's Kupczak of Poland, still with the advantage. And now Ben Behren from Steamboat Springs, the spiritual headquarters of American Nordic Combined. And that's pretty good. 19 years of age and first World Championship experience. This man who was recently 20th in the Junior Worlds out in Almaty, but that's over 90 meters, and 12.1 points, gets into the lead ahead of Kupczak and has an 18-second running advantage at the moment. All the way from Ottawa, Carl August Tierema. Mid-80s, 3 meters, so you can see that's why he goes up to third. That wind deduction of minus 5.6. And Ruslan Belanda for the Ukraine. His teammate Pashinik in 4th place at the moment. Slight wind, it's really much quieter at the moment, but quite a heavy landing. He was really on his toes there. 22 distance points and 1 minute 27. A bright day, certainly a breezy day. This is Adam Czeslar. Got a World Cup point at Ramsau this season. Into the 80s, but needed to be. He has the advantage. He's 18 seconds ahead of Kupczak, but Tierema in 3rd place. But all of these 50 athletes in Nordic Combined ranked according to their positions in terms of World Cup and FIS points, and so consequently the best are still to come. The men who are in best form. Now that wasn't too shabby by Levi Mutru, another of the Finns from the Lahti Ski Club. Again, still in his teenage years, and so this is the sort of promise that the Finns are looking for. And moves up to 3rd place, 27 seconds off the American leader. Of course, the Finns will be hosting the next Nordic Ski World Championships in Lahti, so keen to develop both their Nordic combiners and their special skiers. Christian Ilves representing Estonia. And this is not too bad, just looking at the landing there. The 5 judges, by the way. Box A, top of your list there, that's Inge Eriksrud from Norway. Vadim Lisovsky from Russia in Box B. Daniel Lind from Sweden in C. Václav Chal for the Czech Republic in D. Tom Neumann from Finland in Box E. And now Ernst Yahin, who has a real strong performance record. He's much better at this phase than he is across the trails. Needs to make the ski jumping count, does Ernst Yahin. And that's, for me, a little disappointing. I would have expected him to get over the 90-meter mark And second place, that's going to be tough for him to compete. As it was, so the deduction will be less, but as you can see, down into 7th place, but 44 seconds to find. This is Carl Piho, quite a long delay.
No, it's live on British Eurosport.
Yeah, that's a little way back from the calculation line. He's ahead of his brother by a couple of meters, 14th place. So in the competition for achieving, well, not actually this season, he was 11th in Chauneuf, that favourite venue in the current campaign. So Lucas, front wind has returned. Higher in-run position, but he can set that against the Wyndham Gate, and the Wyndham Gate and then Bill Damong with all his experience, and Brian and Taylor Fletcher. This is the American team of today. As I said, always for me, a team that has the spirit of Steamboat Springs, where Nordic Combined in America really has its heart and soul. So Bill needs to get a good start. His cross-country running is not too bad. And that's not too far off, 90 meters for Bill. 93.5, better than I proposed, and that will take the lead. Bill Damong coming out of gate number 20. So he does get that gate deduction, as well as the front wind deduction, so it goes up to 12 points, but nonetheless 107.2, and he's got a 21-second advantage over Berent, his teammate. So the USA 1 and 2, Yahin of Russia 3rd, Ilves of Estonia in 4th place, and now this is nicely warming up here. Once again, the wind surges a little bit for Marjan Jelenko of Slovenia. Slovenians yet to really pull together a competitive quartet. This man, a former junior world silver medalist some 4 years ago. Who was 7th actually in Val di Fiemme 2 years ago. But 136, that's getting right onto the margins of possibility to make up that sort of deficit across country. Nagai for Japan, and all of the Japanese contenders, of course, will be very conscious of the fact that they really have to put best foot forward here in this first discipline. And that's not bad at all, and interesting to see what the style judges make of this, because he's got the distance, as you can see, 91, and I would have thought these style marks are going to be reasonably decent. Little bit compression, or compressed I should say, but there's an 18 in there, 17.5 up into 2nd spot now, and that puts him just 10 seconds behind Damong and splits the Americans. So out on the bar after a considerable pause. Armin Bauer, Italy. just conscious of the fact that it's still a situation where the very best men in the very best form measure here, because they've got to get this round done if they're to squeeze the cross-country race in. So here we go. Strong front wind. And that is worth waiting for, isn't it? A real attack on the leader, Bill Demong's distance of 93.5 has been usurped now. 95 for Sam Costa. And you can see how close he was getting there to the 100-meter line, the hillside, but down into third place. And you can see the reason why. The deduction, 18.2 points. That's like losing 9 meters of distance. So interesting now to see how this works. Demong, United States, ahead of Nagai. Sam Costa of Italy in third place. Now, Gaspar Berlo for Slovenia. Bib number 24, age 24. Never been better in a World Cup race than 16th. Equaled his best this year. That's too strong. And they'll have to wait for that as well. Now it's green. He can go. Tucks in. Builds. Comes down to the radius. Feels the pressure. Transition. And just about dusting down at 90 meters. So perhaps a little bonus here. This was not badly executed. 89, so just loses 2 points for not getting to 60. And 89 meters, 70s across the board. And there you can see the time differential, 34 seconds. Thomas Portik will be next. 18 years of age, Thomas. Quite promising, I think, this season. Really enjoyed his performance in the Schwarzwald in Schönach. One of the great Nordic combined centres in 12th place. That's a lifetime best. Went to Sochi, finished 25th on the big hill there. And Portik is definitely a name for the notebook. And star-wise, yeah, 17.5, that's fair enough. Wind conditions become that much more unstable. So Maxime coming out of a period in which he's not had great success in the World Cup. He's just inside the top 40 in ranking. That sort of gives you a measure of where he is for the season. Yeah, that's low 80s, so that gives him work to do. So Lahert, 87 meters, actually a little bit better. And star-wise, you wouldn't argue with that. There's consistency there amongst the judges, 16.5 to 17. Bill Demong still leading from Nagai and Sam Costa, but things beginning to warm up as we go into the second half of this one and only competition round. Tim Hug. Ooh, a little slip and slide on the landing there from Tim. Three top 20 finishes, but you can see losing control, instability before the outrun, reflected by those 16s and 16.5 points out of a possible 20. But you can see the wind and the gate deduction, only 4.6, so that's a little over 2 meters. So that actually helps him into 6th place, 27 seconds off the lead. But all the time now it's going to get tougher and tougher. Sebastien Lacroix up to the calculation line. 87.5 meters. Best result for him in Val di Fiemme in a championship. 11th on this sort of hill, this size of hill. And the next man is a man to really watch now. Taylor Fletcher, younger brother of the Fletcher boys. Again, another citizen of Steamboat Springs. Notched up his first ever podium in Sapporo this season. And that's 2-3 meters short of the calculation line, but you can see he's pretty pleased with that. He thinks he's given himself something to run with at 88 meters. Start, I would say, is going to be in the 17 zone. Nice straight back, and the spacing was good between the skis. And that's not shabby at all. 9th place, and it puts him within 34 seconds. Jürgen Grobak and Magnus Morn and Akito Watabe, Bernie Gruber, Eric Frenzel, of course, will be last to go. So Philip Horta got a nice approach out of the table there into the flight phase. So these will be decent points for him. 87. Well, the star judge is pretty keen-eyed there. 17's the predominant figure. 9th place pushes Taylor Fletcher down to 10th, and Tahai Kato for Japan. Now, this is where the Japanese boys have really got to get into the 90s to give themselves a chance on the cross-country trail. And that is into the 90s. Kato, 30 years of age, experienced, 92 meters. Now, it's all about the deductions and the relative score for style. 16.5, they really are strict. He's gone into the lead, and the reason you can see is that minor deduction of 4.5 points. So finally, Bill DeMong is deposed, and is now 7 seconds behind Kato. Nagai to 3rd, Costa now 19 seconds off the lead. And now a man who's been around a while. Wilhelm Denefil of Austria, mid-30s. Top 6 on the big hill in Val di Fiemme at the last World Championships. It's going to drop down a bit. 19th place, 1 minute 10. That's worrying. So Miroslav Dvorak. Now here's a man who can make an impression on the cross-country trails. So this is where he really needs to try and get as close to that 90-meter line as possible. Opened up the season in brilliant style, got his first ever, or his 3rd podium, I should say. 3rd place finish at Ruka in Kusamo. Yeah, needed to be closer. That's equivalent to 12 points, and 12 points using the Gunderson equation. That's getting on for a minute deficit. So
he had to wait a long time for the jumps, but now he had a good jump. So you're ready for a good time in the track?
I hope so. You know, I haven't raced a whole lot this year, but I had some good training before I left home. So we'll just see what I can do.
You think your experience helps you? It's your 8th World Championship. You took the World Champion in 2009, so it's 16 years ago. You still can make another shot?
Anything is possible.
On this music video?
Unfortunately, I wasn't, but they did a great job. I think that's going to be a popular one, this World Championships.
Thank you very much. Enjoy, Bill. Good luck.
Well, definite disappointment there for Ilkka Herilo, missing out by a minute. Next man on the hill, Yoshito Watabe, and a big effort there, and that's what the crowd have come to see. The brother of Akito, the younger brother Yoshito, member of the Kitano Construction Corporation Ski Club. As many of you know, the Japanese supported by businesses which ultimately give them a future career. And you can see into the lead by 30 seconds. And now we've moved into a new phase. Alessandro Pittin, former Olympic bronze medalist from Whistler for Italy, who's had more than his fair share of sickness and injury over the years, which have really seen him held back. He's now 25 years of age. 4 top 10s this year for Pittin, and 56 seconds. That would be within his compass as it stands, but we're now coming to really all of the top men. 14 to go, and this is where it really starts to buzz round here. 37, François Brault for France. 5 top 10 finishes in the World Cup season coming into today's competition, ranked 15th in the world. And that's the wrong side of the calculation line for François. François Brault, 4th with the French team in the last 2 Olympic Games, but a gold medalist with them at the last World Championships. A minute and a few seconds there, still possible for him to have an impact. And Tino Edelman rated a 21-to-1 chance by the bookmakers. Good cross-country skier, and that is a decent contribution. Now that puts Edelman at the moment very much in the mix. 91 meters. Now that isn't going to give him the lead, but the deduction is going to be relatively small. 3rd place, 7.9, and 35 seconds off. That's not a bad place to be at this moment. But remember, the top 10 in the world still to come. So Jason Lamy Chapuis now, the defending world champion from Val di Fiemme. Jason, who's had some problems with his calf. And that's just the opener he needed. Wearing the bib as the defending world champion in what may well be his last competitive season. And that is an absolutely cracking start. Not the perfect telemark, he's not going to get 19s for that. But that is an excellent opener there, and that gives him something to really run for. 4 seconds off the lead behind Yoshito Watabe, and you'd put your money on Jason between those two. Brian Fletcher, the older brother. Taylor down into 14th place at the moment. Brian also a good cross-country skier, but sub-90 here. Analysing Brian Fletcher's performances over the season so far, he is distinctly much better in the second phase of this competition than he is in the first. So 1:06 at the moment is still possible to run into a higher ranking position, but you sort of wonder whether that's going to be close enough to run for the podium. But this man certainly can run for the podium. Jürgen Grabach, the bookmakers make him second favorite to Erik Fensel at 7-1 to take this first Nordic combined gold medal. Representing Norway, and that is a really good opener as well, and a wind straight draft straight up into him, and got the timing right. Just because you have a favorable front wind that gives you that extra pressure under the skis doesn't make it a gimme. You still have to make the transition, and 40 seconds, this is a talented cross-country skier and could well be in the mix. So Watabe from Jason Lamy-Chapuis, Tahe Kato in third place, Tino Edelman fourth, Bill Demong fifth, and the top five separated by 37 seconds at the moment. And everything really bubbling up now. Lukas Klapfer, who won his first ever World Cup at Schönach this season, representing Austria, and didn't get that right at all. This will be marked down, 16.5 there, and 1:48, and I think that's already too much of a margin. I can't see Lukas getting to the podium. Talent, 31 years of age, hails from Trondheim, like so many of the Norwegian Nordic combiners. Front wind still prevails. He's built up the position, he's reconcentrated, put himself back in the zone, 95.5 meters. Now, he is not a top ski jumper, but if he can get to 87, 88 meters, then that gives him a chance, because he can motor around the trails. And that isn't bad. The hands are up, he knows. Probably. There they are, unanimity, 17s. And he's 1:28. If he stays within 1:45, he is a threat to everybody. Horvath Clemensen for Norway, another Trondheimer. This is his forte on the hill, and he's no slouch across the trails either. Yes, mid-90s. Horvath Clemensen, 21-1 the bookmakers would have given you on him this morning. Timing is absolutely spot on, 95.5 meters, 4.5 meters short of the hill size. A little bit on his toes there, that'll take half a point off. And you can see there what he gained in distance, he gave away in style, but still 14 seconds off the lead. And 14 seconds puts him into third place. Watabe still leading. That's the Yoshito Watabe. Oh, and that's good as well. Johannes Rydzek, the junior world champion of 4 seasons ago, but he has really matured. He became a World Cup winner last season for the first time when he notched up no less than 4 World Cup victories. He's added 1 this season, and Rydzek in second place. So Rydzek, 10 top 10 finishes, and now Akito Watabe, the only man to have ever won in Falun in the dress rehearsal last year, not on this hill, on the big hill. Kenji Ogiwara, the last Japanese man to win in Falun, that was 1993. He doubled up and got a second gold medal in 1997 in Trondheim. And Akito Watabe is never far away. Nice takeoff, and that's over 90 meters. Really quickly into the flight phase there. Now I would hope he would get 17.5 for this. 92 meters. needs to get 17.5 just to boost his points total. It's not the best Tenema. Oh, 18s. They liked it even more. And that's excellent. And that has really helped him in there. 6 seconds off the lead. Yoshito Watabe, Jason Lamy-Chapuis, Akito Watabe, Johannes Rydzek, and 14 seconds only separating the top 5. So just a few to go. Fabian Riesel now for Germany, who was leader of the World Cup during the season. Yet to win, 3 times second, twice third. But this is about championships. And I would say just the wrong side and a little wobble there. But it's, again, when you look at his performance graph, slightly better across the country than he is on the hill. And you can see off balance there. Now that will affect 17s, 1 minute and 8 seconds. The problem for him is that he's going to have to run through traffic around the 4 2.5-kilometer loops. Gate number 19. Yoshito Watabe, 19. All of the leading men have come from gate 19, bar Tahe Kato, who came from 18. The wind still too strong. And Jan Schmidt on his way. Big roar from the crowd, and that is superb. Jan Schmidt in with a chance of running for gold. 93 meters. Oh, in fact, Jan Schmidt, 93 meters, 28 seconds. He knows he's in the mix. Top 15, all within a minute, and that includes Behrens of the United States. And now Bernie Gruber from Bad Hofgastein. Oh, and not as far as he would have wished, and that is not the quality. The win was quite tricky. 89.5. And the second favorite for today's competition has got a lot of catching up to do. 1 minute and 4 seconds and a lot of traffic to run through. And so we're just left to the Olympic champion, with the defending world champion still in second place. But here is the man who won this title in 2011 in Oslo. Absolutely brilliant. Up to the 100-meter line, and Frenzel has, 99 meters. He's taken it apart, and he's going to lead the cross-country race, and to say to all of his opponents, catch me if you can. 99 meters for Erik Frenzel. Now, Ronnie Ackerman, a former world champion, and that's a 21-second advantage over Yoshito Watabe. Jason Lamy-Chapuis in third place, the defending world champion, 25 seconds off the lead. Akito Watabe, 27 seconds off the lead, and then Johannes Rydzek. And if I look down the table here, just looking at 145 or thereabouts, Taylor Fletcher's within 145, and Francois Brault's in there. But here, this is the telltale story. Erik Frenzel, very shortly this afternoon in the Lunette Arena, will set out on a 10-kilometer call, and he will say to all of his opponents, catch me if you can. Bill de Monge down in 10th place. Jürgen Grabach is a danger, 1 minute off. You need to stay on the right side of him. Bernie Gruber, 124. That's a tough deficit to make up. Brian Fletcher, he might make up some time there, but Taylor Fletcher, his younger brother, is better. Well, 131 to find there. And now you see there Mutru of Finland, 146, and that's where you come to the threshold, because to look at Magnus Moen, just about possible on 149, and the good news is he's got Dvorak to run with, who's also talented across the trails. But those two are really on the limit, and to be honest, and with respect to everybody you're seeing now, I really don't think that they can get anywhere near the podium. So Magnus Moen, it's going to be fascinating to see how he does, but he's also going to have to run through an awful lot of traffic. But what about this? The Olympic champion and the defending world champion. The defending world champion, Jason Lamy Chapuis, in third place. Just ahead of him, it's Yoshito Watabe, the younger of the two Watabe brothers. Could be matched up by Akito, his elder brother. There's only 6 seconds between them when they start the 10-kilometer chase. And Eric Frenzel, last to go, but the best of all. 99 meters